it is an accomplishment, really, when someone finds a new and exciting way to make me reach a new depth of rage I did not think, or at the very least, made me feel rage that I thought I was done with, and then made me want to launch a crusade out of boredom because of how annoyed I was. Okay, fuck it. If any of you watch the Low series, which I've been doing less and less because honestly, I am trying not to have my mental stability die in one instance of what could be described as a mental nuke, because there's only so much depression shit I can deal with in a week. But they released a video talking about an article where the, I guess, Welsh government or whatever wanted to add King Arthur, Artorius, or, well, not Artorius Cassius, but you get what I fucking mean, and say that he is an alphabet icon because allegedly, in one of the stories, he wore a dress. Now, this is a level stupid of retardation that's right up there with In Praise of Shadows, that fagaloon arguing that creativity is exclusively left-wing, and to argue this, he said that Lovecraft and Mary Shelley, sorry I was blanking, were queer, which, no they weren't, you lying fagaloon, moron, retard, douchebag. Both of these things that I just described are lies. Both In Praise of Shadows and the argument that King Arthur wore a dress. And by the way, even if they did, this would not make him an alphabet. There are stories of men in mythology having to wear dresses. I mean, Thor had to do it at least once, and it wasn't because he wanted to. Like, he was forced to so he could get his fucking hammer back. Someone took Mjolnir, and he needed to get it fucking back with Loki's help, I might add. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, about this that's kind of especially aggravating. There is a story in Arthurian mythology of a guy wearing a dress, but here's the kicker. It wasn't King Arthur, you stupid shit sacks. And whoever wrote that article, I hope you find this recording somehow. It was fucking Lancelot. And that's not to say Lancelot is an alphabet himself. No, he did this to fuck with Dinadon, who, for those of you who don't know, Dinadon is the jovial knight. He's think of him like the Alistair from Dragon. He's the smartass, the jokester. He loves making people laugh. Well, one time Dinadon pissed Lancelot off because he made a joke at Galahad's expense, Galahad is one of Lancelot's buddies. I've heard some people apparently may think they are also alphabets. They are not. I will down on that hill. Blow out your ass, you shipper parasites. But one day, Dinadon made a joke at this guy's expense, and I guess Lancelot took it a little bit worse than usual, so he dresses up as a woman, gets near Dinadon, pulls him off his horse, then stuffs him into the dress, and holds him up in his bitch like, men in dresses are funny. That is it. I really hate people who make lies that are blatantly obvious lies that insult the intelligence of people who know that stuff. And I tried looking at this, and this isn't something I'm going off of memory that I know to be fact. I actually tried looking this up before I did this. Was there a story where King Arthur wore a dress? To my knowledge, there was not one. There possibly could be that we don't know about, because the joke I like to say about Arthurian mythology is that it's glorified. It's somewhat like fan fiction. The difference is it's still consistent with its themes and lessons for the most part. So there have been various versions of the King Arthur mythos. In some versions, Arthur is an asshole. In some versions, he's a jackass. In some versions, he's both. In some versions, Mordred is his son. In some versions, he's his nephew. In some versions, he's his nephew and his son. I know, very gross. In some versions, Mordred is born through Arthur spending a full week banging Margot's, or I forget how to pronounce her name, because he didn't like King Lot, and he spent I don't hate King Arthur, but he was kind of a jackass that he basically spent a whole week banging his enemy's wife as I guess a personal fuck you. Yeah, that came back to bite him in the ass. I guess his pull-out strategy wasn't that good, much like Shaka Zulu's dad. And in the other version, it's a case of he unknowingly slept with his sister, and then she just happened to poop out a kid later. There are lots of different versions of the King Arthur mythos. There's some versions where Galahad was born. Actually, no. The point is, I'm beating a dead horse here. The point is, there are various versions of how things play out in King Arthur. there was a version where Arthur was aware he may have unknowingly knocked up his sister, and there was a baby born on May Day who was going to destroy Camelot, so he had all the babies rounded up and put on a boat to be deported to France, and then the boat unfortunately sank, and Mordred survived. The ship's sinking part is unfortunate. The Mordred part surviving is I'm less concerned with that. In some versions, Mordred is a tragic figure. He is a victim of fate. Sometimes he's a victim of his mother's schemes. Sometimes he's just an ambitious asshole who didn't give two shits about anything but his own ambition. My point is, there are a lot of variants of this story out there. So is it possible there is a version where Arthur did so for probably a legitimate reason in the context of a story? Maybe. Actually, that it would make sense then, because the enemy, as we all know, of the internet and these activist douchebags is context, because they fucking despise it. But yeah, no, this does not make Arthur a alphabet. I refuse to even use that term. I find the whole LGBT whatever, I find it very obnoxious, the term. Like, seriously, these fuckers need to stay on Canal Street if this is what they're going to do. If they're going to be annoying, I'm like, okay, all the ones in Britain who are like this, please stay on Canal Street and never let me hear from you again. Better yet, let's get all of them. Round them up. And then force them to live in Canal Street. Let's see how long they last. A bunch of obnoxious people living with other obnoxious people. Let's see how long their sanity can stand it. But yeah, no, they are lying. I do believe this is a lie, because I read the article, I did not see, and I was skimming through it looking for their example. They gave no example. So, this is a lie. This is a obvious lie. It is such an obvious but fucking lie. It's like when Ubisoft said, one of the justifications they gave for why they were changing things up with Shadows, which, to quote my favorite YouTuber, blow me, Ubisoft. Fucking blow me. Like, the fact that you are insulting our intelligence is the worst part about this. We know they lie with the game. Like, there was a time when Assassin's Creed was respectable. Now, it's a shit stain that I wouldn't even bother cleaning up. I would just piss on it. Figuratively, of course. So yeah, no, or with Blaine Pardoe and all the douchebags who like to say he is a neo-Confederate who has hidden Confederate propaganda in his books, which, seriously, douchebag mental midget psychotic who is pretending to be Faith McCloskey. Are you Tipper Gore in disguise? Are you her bastard son or something? Because this sounds like some bullshit she would pull. But this is that kind of lie, where it's blatantly a lie. Like, what's the saying? We know they lie. They know we know they are lying. And we know they lie. And still, they fucking lie. And I find it even more annoyingly egregious that they did this with King Arthur, because we know these commie retards are trying to co-opt mythology and stuff for their own little bent. To warp culture, because they're fucking freaks who really have no business in society, and I don't even like society, so that's even the weirder part. So, actually, no, that makes sense. Like, commies always co-opt something that they can use to corrupt society and the people in it. Don't believe me? Look at the Communist Party of America. The Soviets sent their agents into California. They permanently fucked up California over time, and now the losers of that state who left the gayest state in the Union are now trying to corrupt the other states. Well, some of them anyway. They've also annexed academia, which is no longer trustworthy, and everyone who works with it I no longer trust either. There's a reason why I stopped watching OSP. Like, they do this for the explicit purpose of fucking with society. We know this because, well, one of their own even said as much in one of his letters. What was that douchebag's name? He got tortured by the fascist, and honestly, this is the one time the fascist did something right, because as we all know, the only good commie is the dead one. But he's like, yeah, the reason why America hasn't fallen for our bullshit yet is because there's too much bread in circuses. We need to go in and make that part of our cause, our asset. We know this is what they are doing. And even the ones who aren't doing it for the sake of communism, these activists like a certain Antichrist woman who put on some weight real fast after she got big, and you know who I'm talking about, they still have that mentality of everything is A, everything is B, everything is C, and you have to point it out. Those lies. Like, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm taking crazy... No, not even crazy. I feel like I'm living in the second antediluvian age. That's what I feel like right now. I'm in a new age of people who have lost their fucking moral compass mind. I mean, they haven't, because it's only a few of them that are actually fucking doing this, but it also has me praying there's another flood. Like, fuck it, I wouldn't mind drowning if I knew these fuckers were going with me. And, God, I have no idea where I was going with this. But yeah, it is a lie. They are lying about mythology. And the fact that they are doing this about what is more or less my ancestral heritage, the one piece of it I give a shit about anyway, doubly pisses me off. Seriously, the Welsh have been shafted over enough by history. We don't need commies doing more of it. There's a reason why I don't piss on the Welsh people and the Scottish. History did it for me. But yeah, commies, you have no right fucking with them. Fuck you. And fuck you, sirs. And, again, I have no idea where this is going with this. Have a nice day. I think I'm going to go now before I have an aneurysm, and not the fun kind. Have a nice day, and Yamiro hid, and all that crap.